who should win the Women's Intercontinental title tournament. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, we did one for the United States Women's title. We might as well do one for this too. I mean, bracket just got unveiled, I believe, on Raw.
Right before
Raw. So what better way to talk about it now? I mean, at least with our United States one, we put our guesses out there, and then like, hey, here's the bracket. Half the people aren't in this.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Cool.
I was gonna say when we did the IC tournament, we thought we had no idea what they were gonna do, and then we put it out, and then the day later they're like, "Oh, here's a brand new shiny bracket." And we're like, "Oh, wonderful!" Now that makes no sense what we put out, but we got ourselves a shiny bracket
we
for
learned
this.
From this one, we waited.
We waited. Patience, young Padawan. Well, we got our first match. It's the exact same thing as what they're doing on SmackDown for the U.S. title. It's 4 triple threat matches, and winner. Those 2 winners go on to fight each other for a title. We got our first match on Raw last week. It was Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, and Katana Chance. Dakota Kai got the win, and thank God, because if we did this before that match, that would have been a 100% or I'm out type deal.
Yeah, it would just throw the title in the trash at that point.
Yeah, throw it in the trash. Tonight on Raw, we do have Lyra Valkyria taking on Zelina Vega and Ivy Nile, which that seems ridiculous because we were planning on doing a U.S. title video like this, podcast like we're doing.
IC one.
Or sorry, IC title thing what we're doing right now, but before there was a bracket. And I think these 3 women would have been 3 of the 4 finalists for this title when we were making that when we were talking about that podcast.
Yeah, I mean, Lyra was kind of like one of our. She's 1 or 2 for most people.
Yeah.
You have Zelina Vega, who I think would probably you pencil her in as probably 3rd. And you know, when we did our U.S. women's bracket, before the bracket came out, she was on your list. She was on my list. It seems like that was kind of made for her.
It's because at the time we didn't know that they were doing brand specific. At the time, everybody thought that the U.S. women's title was going to be treated kind of like the tag belts, where it would go cross brands. Right. And then it came out, and we made our podcast about it, and we said that like women like Lyra and Zelina and Ivy Nile should get a chance at that. But then we found out that it was brand specific to SmackDown, and now we're on Raw. But that opinion stands. All 3 of these women are definitely in our top probably 5 to get this belt, and they're in a freaking match the first round of the tournament. Yeah. So who's coming out of this? We have Lyra Valkyria, Zelina Vega, and Ivy Nile in the tournament match. Who wins it?
God, why you gotta put me on a spot?
I'm putting you on the spot.
Put me on a spot. Well, I think we can take out Ivy Nile. Out of those 3. Yeah. Not saying she's not great and not saying she doesn't deserve one. I still think Lady Liberty would have been fantastic for the United States Championship.
When you said that in the last one, I mean, they should have shipped her to SmackDown just after you saying that, because
just for the shot.
Chad Gable coming out and calling her Lady Liberty.
Yeah, it would have been fantastic. Shout out Corey Graves for that. Once he said it, I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. For this one, I know who you're going to pick. I'm going to go with Zelina Vega. Mostly because I know who you're going to pick, so I'm going to pick opposite. But realistically, like, you can't really go wrong with either one of those 2. I would like it to be Lyra. I think Lyra should win it. I think she's the young up-and-comer, and I think she's kind of the future after she had the Queen of the Ring tournament. She's kind of just floundered out there. Obviously, she was 2nd in the number 1 contenders match versus Io Sky ends up winning that. I think that's probably a big tell here. I think that shows that WWE's really behind her. So I will say that Lyra probably gets the win, but also if they go with Zelina here, like, I'm not going to be upset about it.
So you're picking Zelina?
I'll pick Zelina because I know you're picking Lyra.
Well,
if I had to pick though, like if I'm picking just by myself, I'm picking Lyra.
Oh, see, I agree. If you're going to ask me, hey, Will, who do you want to book to win tonight? Like, if I was Triple H for the night, I'm probably picking Lyra Valkyria, but I think they're going to almost 100% go with Zelina Vega here.
So we're kind of going against Like both of our, like, you want Lyra, but I want Zelina, but I'm picking Lyra, but you're picking Zelina.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense here.
Yeah, I mean, Zelina has been. The reason I pick it is because Zelina's been this close to winning the world title so many times over the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. She seems to be their go-to, like, there's a buffer in between the main title feud of, whoever has the belt. If it was Liv, if it was Becky, whoever. It seems like Zelina always gets thrown in that spot of like, hey, we're going to give you 3 weeks of a push, give you a title match, you're going to lose it, and then we're going to go away for a little bit. This is kind of a belt made for that person, right? It's a belt that didn't exist for her during those times. Now it does. This is the exact time where you decide to give that person your go-to workhorse, which is what Zelina kind of is for the Raw Women's Division. You go to her and you give her the belt. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Zelina Vega probably wins this match and moves on.
Yeah. Like I said, I would want that to happen. I think that that number one contenders match, I think with Lyra finishing second, I think that that's probably a big tell for me. As for Zelina, like if she is kind of that go-to person, maybe she ends up being the first feud out of this or maybe the second feud. I don't know, but maybe they kind of keep just penciling her in there, but it would make sense for them to give her the title. She deserves it. I mean,
I would love for however this match finishes, I would love for it to be a quote unquote like sloppy finish between Lyra and Zelina so that whoever loses does come after the belt right away with whoever wins. Because I do think that both these women should, if it was up to me, I'd probably book these two women to be in the final, but they're in this match together. Like if I was the one creating the bracket from the get-go, probably would have put them on opposite sides and had them meet in the final. So I would really love that to be the feud coming out of the winner of this. Yeah. So I hope that the finish of this match can be, sort of like that Randy Orton versus Gunther finish where you pick up where you left off because everybody knows that wasn't like 100% of finishing pin or whatever.
Yeah.
We will move it on though. Dakota Kai won already, but she needs an opponent. We have Zoe Stark taking on Raquel Rodriguez and Kaden Carter. Now, this one can get sticky because Raquel is in a feud with Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
And there's nothing more than there's nothing more than what Rhea Ripley likes than
this guy loves his tongue twisters, hitting
that music and causing shenanigans to happen in the ring. I would like to say Raquel wins this. I really would because you want her to look strong, obviously. Yeah. But she has a match against Rhea Ripley tonight in a one-on-one match that I think is going to leave her bruised and beat up in some way. Like I think Rhea gets, an eye for an eye, kind of like how Ludwig and Sheamus are rib for a rib. So I think that Raquel might walk into this match limping or something might be wrong with her or Rhea might be, on her ass the second that she gets in the ring. I would really like to see Zoe Stark win this. Because, dear Lord, PFC needs something. PFC needs something. So please give Zoe Stark a little bit of something. Shayna Baszler already lost her match. Yeah. So give PFC something here.
Yeah. We talk about Raquel. I think there's I wouldn't say it's very high, but I think there's a possible chance that Raquel doesn't even participate in this match.
I think like Jade?
Yeah. I think maybe Rhea just, not like a backstage attack, but I think maybe Rhea just utterly destroys her and she can't compete. That might be what they do, which if that's the case, whoever didn't win that Lyra Zelina match, you could just pencil them in there.
Oh, please book that.
And maybe that's how they
please
people might
that.
Say, oh, that's Vince booking. Well, I don't care. It works right here.
Yeah, I know it works.
It makes a lot more sense. If I am just taking this at face value with these three, no shenanigans, everybody competes and all that stuff, I would like to see Raquel get the win because it brings her some legitimacy here. We continue to say that her return has kind of not been so good and it hasn't really been that great. And Rhea's kind of dominated. She's looked sluggish. She hasn't really looked good. I think maybe you could have Raquel get the win here and then maybe she loses to Dakota Kai just so she gets some sort of legitimacy here. Maybe Rhea costs her versus Dakota Kai and maybe Dakota Kai goes into the finals then.
I mean, we're all in agreement that some way, somehow Raquel is going to get screwed over by Rhea Ripley in some way, shape, or form, right? Either she doesn't compete, either she gets, screwed out of this match or the next match, right? Yeah. Raquel is not going all the way.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And then as for your second pick there, your Zoe Stark pick, I mean, like you said, PFC needs something. I'll continue to say it. Best missile drop kick in the game.
She does.
That springboard missile drop kick is phenomenal. But I mean, good God, if they keep pushing Pia, I don't think they could ever get any lower. And then they proceed to get lower than what I thought. So I could just see Zoe Stark just taking a pin too here. Why not?
No love for Kaden Carter here.
No.
She's gonna have a good spot.
Yeah. She'll have a couple spots like Katana Chance did. I'm not a big party people person, and to me, I feel like Raquel or Zoe kind of they're a little bit better in the ring. Yeah. Even though Raquel struggled a little bit, she's got that powerhouse, and you need something for her at least because I mean she's the bodyguard.
Yeah.
To the women's champ, you need to have her get some legitimacy because she ain't got none.
I agree. Final triple threat match. This one's interesting. I think it's way more interesting than people think. It's Alba Fire taking on Kairi Sane and Natalya. And here's three people that Alba Fire, obviously part of Unholy Union. They got big pushes midway through the year. They were getting some good fan interaction. Fans are really behind them. Yeah. Especially Alba Fire. Yep. People absolutely love her. Yep. Kairi Sane feels like the left out piece in the whole War Games puzzle and the Liv and EO stuff right now. It seems like she just kind of got left out. She just got pinned, got destroyed by Raquel last Monday. And then Natalya kind of fits. Whatever I said about Zelina Vega, that was Natalya's role for years and years. And she actually won titles, won gold for a while there. And people love them some Natalya. I really think that you need to give Kairi Sane a win here. If I had to bet on this match, I'm going to say Alba Fire because she is she's next, they want to build her. She's next up. But I think that right now we're really losing Kairi Sane's stock. And you need to give her a win here to make sure that when EO comes out of the Liv loss, because I think she's going to take a loss, that Damage Control still remains a heavy hitting, strong tag team. Yeah.
Yeah, you could potentially, Kairi Sane there and Dakota Kai on the other side, you could potentially have an all Damage Control final. If you look at it that way, I just thought of that right on the spot. I don't think that's what they're going to do, but Kairi Sane definitely deserves something. As much as we talked about PFC being low, I really had high expectations for Kairi Sane, and not to her own doing. I think she's really good in the ring when she's there. They just don't do anything with her.
Yeah.
They've kind of got in this awkward spot where EO's kind of the Swiss Army knife where they put her in anything because EO's phenomenal.
Yep.
And it just leaves Kairi kind of out in the cold. So Kairi needs something here. If I was a betting person, though, I know my WWE.
You're not going to say Natalya.
I know my WWE. Oh. And they're picking Natalya to win this match.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are.
No, they are
because
not.
Then we're having Lyra Valkyria versus Natalya in the semifinal. You talked months ago, Lyra was the one that brought Natalya back on screen. It just makes sense.
Yeah, if Lyra wins this week, I might get a little cold feet.
Yeah.
Because you're right. The Natalya stuff would make sense in terms of that.
And it's like a passing of the guard, and you could have like this technical match.
She could pass the guard to Kairi Sane or Alba Fire.
Yeah.
Maybe she wins the entire tournament, and then she goes, and then Goldberg finally walks out, and he goes, "You're next." I ended one of your family's careers. So you're really going Natalya on that?
Yeah.
No.
Am I happy about it? No.
So
but I know, like I said, I know my WWE. Natalya, no offense to her, she has won things in the past that I'm like, why would you let Natalya win that? When Natalya came back and she was that fifth member on that random Raw for the 10-person tag match, I was like, oh, yay. They didn't really do anything for me. But people, like you said, people do love Natalya. And we talked about it as well with the United States Championship. How you bring kind of that prestige. And we were like, I don't want somebody that's kind of been there for so long with like a Bailey or a Bianca, somebody that really can bring that title to a high spot right away. Out of everybody in the field here, Natalya is the most accomplished. And if you were to do that, that's what you do.
Natalya brings the prestige back to the women's division. Oh my God.
I didn't say that.
I'm sorry if I sound like a hater.
He is.
You know what? I'll take it. I'm a little bit of a Natalya hater. We're past that, bro. We're past that. Anyway, we'll go on. So Dakota Kai is going to be taking on what we think is either going to be Raquel or Zoe Stark.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Like
there's no. I mean, I think the more interesting story is to have Raquel there and some sort of, again, it sucks, but some sort of Rhea costing Raquel. Not that Dakota Kai needs it, but Dakota Kai is you look at her side of the bracket compared to the other side of the bracket, and you're like, well, geez, Dakota Kai is really dominating that left side of the bracket.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense if it does end up being Kai and Raquel, at that point you don't even need Rhea necessarily to get involved because she is a part of Damage Control. Dakota Kai, Io's facing Liv. I mean, you could build that. Well, they're not fighting next week, right? So next week, Saturday night main event. So no, that's not going to happen. I was thinking of Saturday night main events further out. You could always have Damage Control cost Raquel, and that adds to the Liv Io fire. But obviously that's not going to happen. I don't care who you put in there against Dakota Kai in the second round. You're high, WWE, if you don't send Dakota Kai to the final on this side.
Yeah, I think like 98% of people would agree that, like I said, that whole left side, you look at it and you're like, Dakota Kai is coming out of that side, and I don't really see anybody else that would.
Yeah. But the right side of the bracket is a little bit more interesting in terms of what we've said so far. We've actually disagreed on both winners.
Yeah.
On that side. So we'll just do it this way on that side. So I picked Zelina Vega, you picked Lyra, and then they'll either go up against Natalya that you said or Kairi Sane that I said. Who comes out of that side of the bracket to face Dakota Kai in the final?
Now that I mentioned an all Damage Control final, I'm like, man, that would be kind of cool.
I'd be fine with you saying that because that means you would take a step back on your Natalya pick. I see that as an absolute win.
I think it would be cool to get that. I mean, initially, too, in the beginning when Dakota Kai came back, we were like, oh, man, she's going to turn on him. Like, she's going to turn on Damage Control. You remember that?
Yeah.
Obviously, that didn't happen, and they're all friends and everything now, but why not just have like a gentlewoman's match between the two, tag partners, faction partners? I think, though, out of this right side, it's the winner of the Lyra or Zelina match. So for me, I would have Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria in the final. They both did those promos a few weeks ago now on Raw about how they're, she's a phoenix and she wants to rise, or she's more than a bird, or I don't know what she said. Yeah, she said something like that. And then Dakota Kai was like, yeah, people say I'm injured all the time. Well, I'm here to prove that I'm not, or something, Yeah. I think that was really kind of telling, and that's going to be our final.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dakota Kai 100% was on one side of it, and then I do think that it's either going to be Lyra Valkyria or Zelina Vega. I do think that they're probably going to give the nod to Zelina here, and then obviously Lyra can be one of the first rivalries coming out of it, long-term rivalry outside of a bracket, our first actual program. So I do think it will be Dakota Kai versus Zelina Vega, and now that brings us to the end here. Who wins it overall?
Mm-hmm. You want to go first? I've gone first this whole time.
Yeah, I'll stick to it. I have Dakota Kai and Zelina Vega then, and I think Zelina Vega walks away with the Intercontinental title. I just think that what I said earlier, I just think she has done the job in terms of losing every time she goes after that top title for kind of feels like years at this point. This is the type of belt made for that type of person, that type of superstar. She deserves it. She's got a big crowd backing for years. She's been very over for a long time. Mm-hmm. I love Dakota Kai. I love Lyra Valkyria. They should be the next in line. Those should be feuds down the line. They will get the belt, but Zelina walks away with it here.
Yeah, I think Monday's going to be a big tell. Because
until freaking Ivy Nile gets the win here and F's this all up.
Yeah, who knows? So mine's Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria. My heart is saying Dakota Kai, and I would like to stick with that, but I'm going Lyra Valkyria on this one. So I think Monday, like I said, it's a big one because our two winners face off against each other, and one of us is not going to be happy. But either way, I think, going through the bracket and looking at it, if you do Lyra, Zelina, or Dakota, any of those three, I think the majority of WWE fans are going to be happy.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You have to have Dakota Kai in there on one side because that left side of the bracket just screams Dakota Kai. And then I feel like Lyra or Zelina has to be the answer on the right side as well. It just screams that those three women feel like the shining piece in this IC title stuff. And you can't go wrong with any of them. Like, I won't be mad if Zelina loses. I wouldn't be mad if Dakota Kai wins the whole thing. Like, they're all the correct answers. I just think that Zelina has put in a little bit more of the, she's done the job more. She's had more time to do the job than the other women, right? Yeah. So you hand it to your veteran in that aspect.
Which is fair, because you could say that, Lyra at least is the future, so she has plenty of time to win that.
Yeah.
Dakota, obviously, the one pushback on her is obviously the injury history. So you could make a case either one way or the other. You could say, well, she shouldn't get it because she's always injured, or you could say, rush it, give it to her now before she gets injured. You could either really do both.
What we're forgetting is that Dakota Kai is going to win it, pull a Finn Balor, get injured during the match, have to vacate it the next day, and then we just get Zelina Vega versus Lyra Valkyria, and then we get to decide. Then it's a win-win-win-win.
God, that would suck though, huh?
Or Tiffany Stratton comes out with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, that is a possibility. Her with that, or the United States one. And Austin Theory cashed in.
What we're also forgetting that just popped into my head. What's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen.
No, I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking, so I don't know.
What's gonna happen is Raquel and Rhea Ripley have themselves a match. Rhea is going to beat the hell out of Raquel Rodriguez to the point where she can't fight. Rhea Ripley is going to take her spot, and Rhea Ripley is going to run through everybody in this bracket and come out your new Intercontinental champion.
Also, I'm a little sad looking at the bracket.
What?
Thinking about it now. There's no Maxine Dupree on this bracket.
I love like Maxine, but she ain't there yet.
You could have taken one of these people out of here.
Who are you taking? Natalya.
You could have taken either of the party people out, and you could have put Maxine in there.
The party people are good in the ring.
Maxine, she does the backwards caterpillar, though.
That's it.
That's okay. You signed me up for that.
Trish Stratus.
She always does Becky well Lynch. When she's in multi-women matches,
Yeah, but that's okay. So she's in the first round and loses.
Yeah. I'm not saying. She goes on a run, but I would have liked to see her just in there. Same thing with Sonya Deville. Would have been nice to see her in this bracket.
Yeah, that was easily my biggest gripe when I saw the bracket. I was like, is Sonya hurt? Is she hurt again?
I think I heard. I don't know how accurate it is that she might be looking to do like another Adam Pearce.
She already did that
assistant type role thing. Yeah, she already did that. So I don't know how accurate that is, but there's got to be something. I mean, she was supposed to be, I think, the star out of those three.
Oh yeah, leading the greatest women's faction in history.
I meant to ask this: do we think she's P, F, or C? Which one is she? I don't know.
P, F, or C? Is Sonya Deville P?
Is she pure? Is she fusion? Or is she collective?
Pure.
Yeah, if she's a leader, she goes first. Yeah,
because Shayna Baszler is definitely collective. That leaves Zoe Stark's fusion.
Still haven't explained the name, so
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. So you got Lyra Valkyria winning this whole thing. I got Zelina Vega winning this whole thing. Either way, can't wait to see it. Gonna be great matches. Week 1 was great. So good time for all these women to shine.
Yeah, and I don't know necessarily what the card is on Raw, like the full card for the night, but this Lyra Valkyria Zelina Ivy Nile match is probably going to be match of the night. I mean, it's going to be phenomenal. Absolutely agree.
Anyway, if you want to watch that match with some people, you should come watch it with us on Twitch. Obviously, we won't have it up, but we have our Raw watch along on Twitch, twitch.com/CODWrestlePod. We now live stream and do watch alongs for Raw, SmackDown, and PLEs. Maybe some more fun stuff in the future. We're just getting started at it, but hell yeah. Follow us on all of our socials at CODWrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts at YouTube, Spotify, Apple, etc. And if you want to come talk to us, we have a link tree in our bio. It's got all of our socials. Come join our Discord to talk to us. Like all of our stuff, comment on all of our stuff. We love talking to you guys on all of our socials, and thank you for being a part of it. But I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.